So I wrote a blog post the other day, and I wouldn't consider it blowing up because it only has like 70 views. But for me, and like posting something on my blog that doesn't get too many hits, it's actually a nice change of pace. The blog post is about a retrospective about me building out the YouTube channel that I've been working on for the past month now, specifically after leaving my job and pursuing this kind of like quote unquote full time. I discovered today that there's a lot of people on YouTube who are doing really well, who have computer science degrees like me, and are just kind of like making comedy and having a good time. And honestly, I'm really jealous of those people. I'm looking at Cody Ko, I'm looking at Danny Gonzalez, Jarvis Johnson. They're just really doing some awesome stuff. And I was like, man, I need to get in on this. But I posted a video today that I worked pretty hard on editing wise, called The Important Things About Hunter x Hunter. I talked a lot about curiosity, and I got roasted by this dude in the comments. He's like, I don't even post videos and I have more subscribers than you. And that was true. And I mean, like, it kind of hurt a little bit because I think in a lot of ways, not that subscriber count necessarily matters too much. Like, how many subscribers you have doesn't necessarily equate to the value you're providing the platform. But I think that one thing that it did help me realize is that I'm taking things a bit too seriously, I guess, and that it's really probably better to take a step back and just have more fun with the process. Especially because, like, when your things are small, you have more freedom to do whatever you want, and you can kind of upload whatever you care about and whatever you're feeling without necessarily feeling like you're crushing anyone's dreams, or you're going to lose 20% of your subscriber base or audience or whatever. So in this video, I just kind of want to talk a little bit on video format about what I posted with this blog and the kind of findings that I had. So I might post some pictures on the screen of the different blog points and then just talk about them. So the first major point that I made was about time. Time is something that I thought a lot about right before I left my office job, and time is still something that I think about a lot. It's one of those things where there's this super like meta things where people are like, time is the only thing that you can't get back, and it's the most important commodity, and it'll fly by if you're not using it effectively, and don't waste your day, carpe diem, YOLO. There's a bunch of different things out there that people talk about when they're trying to say that you need to maximize your time, and I agree. I think that a life wasted is one where you don't actually do anything that you feel like leaves a legacy. And maybe that's a bit grandiose, but I think that it really is important to kind of carve your own name into history, or at least attempt to, because there's so many people out there, and we all have unique backstories, and we're all individuals, and we all can provide value to each other. But a lot of times we spend more time consuming the content that other people made, and then regretting not being able to produce that content in our own lives. Having all my time back, one of the things that I thought when I left the office was that I would have so much more time on my hands. I'd be like, okay, cool, now I can work from the hours of 9 to 5 on projects that excite me and make videos and have a lot of fun. But I find that a lot of time during the day I just kind of spend watching content. You know what I mean? It's so hard to just turn it off. It's so hard to just kind of like pull yourself away from the easy thing to do. And in a lot of ways, like, I've kind of tried to worry more about the number of hours that I'm working as opposed to what I'm working on, or rather when I'm working, to make things feel a bit less rigid so that I can get my hours in whenever I feel inspired or creative. But in a lot of ways, you just, I just spend a lot of time wasted. I don't really know how else to put it. So I've been looking into kind of some app blockers and things like that to help me with wasting time. Another thing that's really different about not having a job anymore is that night and day, it really doesn't matter. All the hours blend into each other without any kind of like sense or reason. I think that, one of the things that one of my friends asked me a while ago was like, how does it feel to have your entire day back or whatever. And I'm like, it just kind of doesn't feel like that. Like all the hours are the same. No hour is really more important than any other. And in a way, I love that, because that means I can go outside at 3 p.m. and not have to worry about a meeting that I'm missing, or I can go take a nap at noon if I feel like it, or I can stay up till 2 a.m. doing whatever, making videos or DJing, or doing something that makes me, brings me happiness, without feeling bad. And I guess that in itself is pretty awesome. But that's just something that you have to learn.